What is up, guys, and welcome back to the episode of F1 22 My Team Career, episode number 10 today for the British Grand Prix, then in Season 1. If you guys didn't miss the previews, that's at the Canadian Grand Prix. I implore you to go check that one out before you see this one. What a crazy race it was, from last on the grid to P10, as you can see on the results screen there. I will not spoil it too much for you guys, so please be sure to go check that one. It was a very, very exciting race there. But anyways, coming into the British Grand Prix, we have a couple upgrades coming in there, and doing some activity timelines here. And let's see what we can strap on just before we head on to the British Grand Prix. Looking to do some training for our teammate here. And in terms of upgrades, we have two chassis upgrades then. One that was repurchased from last episode, and another that we purchased from a while ago. And hopefully both of those can come in at the same time, because that would be a real help for us here at the British Grand Prix. At the British Grand Prix, obviously, you need a good amount of chassis balance to throw your car around the high-speed sections. As you may have seen that we purchased a powertrain facility upgrade that'll push it up to spec 1, which is really useful for us because we need that spec 1 upgrade to unlock some of the other upgrades as well. And looking at our teammates there, just saying hello and doing the race simulation here. Can we get both upgrades on? No, it is a half and half. The one we repurchased last time did come in, but unfortunately the other one, which was the engine cover, so that's a weight reduction one that we missed out, which is huge for us. The weight reduction one, we don't have any resource points to put it on, so that's going to be a pain for us. Luckily the tire one comes in. We have the chassis department asking us for, like, what? We haven't even done anything. Like, what do you want me to do here? But anyways, then that's enough. You can see the facility upgrade comes in now, and that allows us to get spec 1 here. Now we get some more resources then for resource points and money as well. As you can see here, now they're all start to unlock here, and that allows us to have, I think, like a couple more, like 5 more upgrades then on the powertrain side, which is useful for us. We need the ERS one, and as you can see here, we can now approach a new sponsor then for this upcoming season. Upcoming a couple of races here, and I was looking around to see which one had the best weekly income, with again the same similar gold bonus. So similar to Distort, I want a goal. I want a oh my gosh, I cannot speak today, can I? I would like to have a sponsor that can give us a good balance of good weekly income and a good gold bonus as well to throw it on. And after looking through a good couple sponsors just to see which one I would like to choose then for this upcoming season, upcoming couple races. Why do I keep saying upcoming season? We are going to sign with Sunburst there, as you can clearly see there. We'll put that on the car a little later. We want to put it, actually, we'll strap it on now, because why not? And here you can watch us put on some sponsor decals as well. We haven't really touched this a lot, so we're going to throw on a couple of these, just save ourselves some time here. We don't want to waste too much time on this, as we have a lot of the episode to go here, and I'm very excited for the British Grand Prix. With that powerful pace we had around the likes of Canada and Azerbaijan, I am very confident coming into the British Grand Prix. A fast-flowing circuit there. Love the British Grand Prix. You have to love it. It's one of the classics on the calendar. And we have a marketing department while the background is a white blank screen. Now we have to approach a new rival. We did win a rival against Daniel Ricciardo, which was great. Now we have Ricciardo, Norris, and Alonso this time. So with 3 drivers, we're going to stick with Ricciardo. I know he's probably the lowest out of the 3 of them, but this is crucial for us if we want to win some good acclaim here. And also, this is after the patch where McLaren got buffed. Obviously, pre-patch there, or not pre-patch, the McLaren was way down on the ground, and they were like one of the worst teams on the grid. And now, obviously, they are well up there in the midfield fighting with Alpine in real life. So it is going to be hard to beat Ricciardo, but I think we can. It would be much harder to beat Norris or Alonso. But anyways, we are here for the Pirelli haul-up around the wet British Grand Prix circuit. 59 gates to complete in just under 2 minutes here. And I'll be interested to see how long this actually takes, because by my judgments here, by my judging of calculations around the British Grand Prix circuit, it's about 1 minute, I'd say 30 with an F1 car. So this could be taking us well into Sector 2 here, and maybe even Sector 3, maybe just at the start. I highly doubt it though. Let's now come onto the Wellington Straight here. Very used to the circuit thanks to the F1 Mobile Racing. If you do not know, I do have an F1 Mobile Racing series, so please be sure to go check that one out if you do have the time to do so. As you can see here, the slaloms are getting very tight here, and it's becoming very slow here. We're halfway through the gates, more than halfway actually, and we just crossed the halfway point in terms of the time here, coming into the right-hander here, trying to swing wide, and I'm assuming we have to cut in for the end of Brooklyn's and left of here. Yes, we are getting the power nice and early. And by the way, we are driving the Mercedes AMG GTR Pro around the Silverstone circuit. We drove in this car once, which was the Australia Pirelli Hot Lap. As we got in the grass there a little bit, the car understeering. Obviously, these supercars are, well, I think, pretty obvious. They're not as nimble as the Formula 1 cars here. Slaloming through the gates, down the old pit straight towards the fast cops corner. Not flat out, just an FYI, not flat out in these cars. You can see having a huge wash of understeering and nearly hitting that bowl and costing us a bit of time. But we're going to come through the final gates here, up to 5th gear, charging towards the finish line, and we're going to blitz this one easily by 8 seconds there. A nice little drift from us as we get a gold Pirelli Hot Lap, which means we get another 1,000 acclaim and then the $100,000 in cash, which is really helpful for us because we do need that pretty desperately here. And yeah, we beat that by almost 8 whole seconds, 7.5 or 7.25 to be honest. But anyways, then let's skip on to that. We're now on to quick practice 1 here. Trying to complete all these practice programs as quickly as we possibly can here. That's not really going to help matters though if we have a failed attempt here. Get this in the second try? Yes, we can. What about this engine power one? Obviously, with these discounts now and with those unlocked upgrades, we can now have more variety then of discounts here. So not just the likes of durability and very few amounts of chassis and aerodynamics here. But anyways, we are on to the track acclimatization program. We want to prioritize our resource points first, because if we can prioritize resource points first, that means we can actually get the resource points we need to buy some upgrades. It's no point getting all these discounts even though they're failing, and we had 2 fails in a row, not really helping us here. Can we get this one? Finally we do here. Obviously the discounts are helpful I should say, to, you know, have cheaper upgrades obviously, but we need the resource points first if we want to purchase some upgrades for the car. This is going to push us all the way to the end of the session, and luckily we managed to get it through, so not a complete waste of time here. Moving on to quick practice 3 here. Can we get this moderate energy usage one done? Yes we can. It's 100% success anyways. It's bound to happen regardless. Can we get this one in time? Yes we can. What about this tire wear upgrade? Can we get this discount? Yes we can. We have energy recovery system up next here. 70% success. Works in our favor. What about engine power to clean it off then? And we do so perfectly. All of them are complete. We get the maximum amount of resource points, which here gets another 225 to push us 900, gives us 1,553 total resource points. And with all these discounts, I don't think we're going to be purchasing any upgrades this race. We're probably going to hold off the upgrades then for another race or so. But anyways, this time I have made sure to put in the right engine here and make sure that I have a fresh engine for this race. So now, let's head on to qualifying. Alright then, here we are, time for qualifying for the British Grand Prix here in the famous Silverstone circuit. Loading up our car setup for this track and taking out just a bit of fuel just to maximize the car performance that we have. Fresh set of soft compounded tires. Let's get onto the track. Alright then, here we are, time for our first qualifying up around the famous Silverstone circuit into Abbey for the first time. Down to 7th gear just to get that rotation as we now make our way towards the right-hander into Village here, down to 3rd gear. Probably could have actually taken that a little more aggressively, a little too early on the brakes there. Now into the left-hander gear, trying to get a good run through here, going a little too wide. The car feeling a little cumbersome in the slow-speed sections, but I am confident that in the high-speed section, this car will perform pretty well as we now make our way down Wellington straight towards Brooklyn's and left to here. You gotta really send the car in here. Down to 4th gear, we go a little wide there. Down to 3rd, trying to get that undercut line here and getting a good run down the old pit straight here. Obviously, like in real life, the drivers, they swing out wide on purpose and then cut in tight for a late apex to get a good run down the old pit straight towards Cops Corner here. Down to 7th gear, but we completely missed the apex there. Surprising we don't get a warning for exceeding track limits there as we now come into the famous Maggots and Beckett section. This is where the car is pretty dang good at. Down to 6th gear, now down to 5th gear, taking that apex perfectly. We go a little bit on the grass there. That's not exactly what we really need to do. A little bit of off-roading there. in our car, although I don't think an F1 car is meant to off-road necessarily. But anyways, them coming into Stowe corner here, down to 6th gear, down to actually 5th gear, try to get the extra rotation. We still go way too far out here. So not the cleanest of laps here. There's a lot of time to find here as we come into the chicane then for the first time here around this circuit. Onto the power nice and early, clip that apex curve across the line. P4 ahead of a Ferrari and Magnussen, but behind Ocon and Bottas. Moving on through time here as we look to see the times pop in ever so slightly. We are P14, so we are on the bubble here. Science is bound to improve, so we better get out on track as quickly as we can. We got 5 minutes about remaining here in the session. Pourchaire remains in 19th place, so I'm kind of hoping that he can get up there in the top 16 with us. Earlier in the season, he actually doing really well. He actually out-qualified us pretty well. Now we're starting to slowly get the hang of this car, not qualifying, but he needs to get up here as quickly as we can. So we're going to go out for a second run here and hope to improve a lot, and hopefully we can get into Q2. Alright then, down the main straight, the pit straight here as we come in towards turn one. We're up on our sector time here as we come into the corner. Take a better line through here, staying in 7th gear there again to try and maintain that nice rotation. Going to this corner deeper and getting that apex a lot better here. Now coming into the left-handed here, taking a nice and much cleaner line there. I can already see the improvements as we have gained a lot of time here. Down into the Wellington straight we go then, and towards Brooklyn and up we have I think a car ahead of us. This is a distant tow here coming into this first sector, and if you look at that, you'll love to see it. A purple first sector here. Absolute biblical seeds, as Adava would say. If you are any Adava fans that are watching this, you know that he loves to say biblical seeds. I just had to say it. I had nothing else to say. Anyways, then coming into Cop's corner here, we are well up on our time. We're down to 7th gear. Try to clip that apex. We take a tighter line, I guess you could say, but still going a little too far. Again, very lucky not to get an exceeding track limits warning there. Coming into Maggots and Beckett's then for the second time. You actually went down to 7th in that second turn here, and that's actually helped us a little bit with that rotation as we now make our way down towards Stowe. Here we got Verstappen though on our tail. We have to do a bit of defending just in case he decides to ruin our lap here. He tries to make it around the outside. We probably just ruined his hot lap. I'm sorry, Verstappen, but I'm on a hot lap here. I'm trying to get out of Q1. You're probably safe up there, so don't worry about it. Anyways, then, coming through the chicane and on towards the last corner here, pulling the power as quickly as we can. Qualifying is now over as we cross the line there. Where's that going to put us then? It's going to put us on P9. Wow, what a lap from us there. Thanks to that purple first sector and a very respectable sector 2 and sector 3 times there, we make it them into Q2. A very satisfying result for us, ahead of, well, a lot of cars, I must say. Both Alpines, Danny Ricciardo, Max Verstappen stays P14, so he didn't need that run, obviously. But anyways, Pourchaire, unfortunately, stays in 21st, so he is unfortunately knocked out then in Q1. But now we turn our sights into Q2, and hopefully we can make it into Q3 even. Making it into Q2 is one thing, but making it into Q3 is a whole nother level as we come through Abbey and towards Village then for the third time this weekend here. Taking a nice line through here. We have no distant tow ahead of us, so it's up to us to make sure that we have a good run through these corners here, find the rhythm as quickly as we can, and make sure we can put in a good lap time. That'll hopefully give us a marker as to see where we can go in Q2 here. Another purple first sector. Again, you love to see it here as it comes through Brooklyn to the left field, though. Unfortunately, not getting the cleanest of line. Let's get the undercut line, though. At least you get a good run down the old pit straight. You do lose a bit of time through the corner, but luckily, though, once you manage to get on the power nice and early and head down towards Cobb's corner, you should have a good run through these corners. You actually take a much better line through Cobb's corner as we now make our way towards Baggage and Beckett then for the third time of asking here through the corners here, down to 6th gear for the third turn, down to 5th for the 4th turn. Clip that apex. Try not to get on the grass too much or else your car will spin up. Open DRS as you now head our way towards Stowe corner and the start of sector 3 here. Charles Weir pumps in the fastest lap there. We are in sector 3 as we now head out towards Stowe here. Down to 6th gear, down to 5th gear. Clip that apex. Get a great run through there. Actually much cleaner than I was expecting, to be honest, considering the natural understeer that I sometimes get as the tires start to overheat here as they come through the right-hander of the chicane here, and now through the right-hander of the last corner, crossing towards the line. It is going to be P3. A beautiful lap from us, as it's soon P4 by Max Verstappen. But a good result for us so far, and a good benchmarker. As we advance time, though, we are on the cusp there, P10. Still a good result from us regardless, but Hamilton is bound to improve, and a couple others are bound to improve as well. So we need to go out yet again then for another run here, and we have to hope that this lap is good enough or the AI make a mistake and they don't get into Q2. They're coming into Abbey for the 4th time. We are down on the Delta a little bit into Village, and for the 4th time of Oscar, we actually clipped the inside curve there. Not the greatest move we have, but we do manage to gain a bit of time here. We're down on the Delta as we come into the Wellington straight here, taking a very sharp line there. We lose the back end though, unfortunately. That is not what we wanted there. Literally, we were about a 4th, a 5th into the lap there, and we spin it. I think those inside sausage curves at the exit of that corner had unsettled the car there, and with the DRS wide open, we just asking for trouble there. Yellow flags behind us, obviously, as we were stuck behind there. But I think that could be it for a qualifying session here. As, well, we're not going to improve first off. We would need a magical teleportation device to improve. We have to now come down the open straight. We're just going to quit here, return to the garage here, and we'll see if the result will come as we get a very interesting view of the garage here. Will we make it to Q3? And surprisingly, we actually make it into Q3. I don't think anyone was able to improve because of that yellow first sector, or maybe they all got lucky and made a mistake. But wow, that is huge for us. This is our first Q3 appearance. Hamilton in the Mercedes gets knocked out along with his old former teammate Valtteri Bottas. So a huge sigh of relief for us. We get away with this. Now let's see if we can make up for it in Q3. But anyways, we do not have 2 sets of fresh soft compounded tires there, unfortunately. So we have to wait till the end of the session once the track is fully ramped up here. And as you can see here, Charles Leclerc has the fastest time ahead of Verstappen, Perez, Sainz, Russell, Norris, Ricciardo, Alonso, and Schumacher. And we are wanting to set the time in a bit here as we are now going onto the track here, tucked up behind the other Mercedes of George Russell. He will lay down a good marker for us just to see where we need to go around the circuit of the Silverstone circuit here, making our way through Abbey there for the 5th time of Austin here, as now come into Village, then getting a nice run through there, and we're trying to follow George Russell as best as he can. Maybe he's on an out lap, or maybe he's on a push lap, but he must have made a mistake here somewhere, because there's no way we are as fast as a Mercedes there. Avoiding that inside sausage curve there, we've learned the lesson from Q2 as we make our way down towards the start of Sector 2 here. No purple first sector, unfortunately. I got a little greedy there. Kind of wish we had a purple first sector, but we get a nice run through here and actually get a really good run out of left field there, and hopefully getting a nice distance over from the Briton George Russell here. The British crowd here want to see either Hamilton, or actually Hamilton got knocked out in Q2, remember that. So the British fans are cheering on Russell and Norris to try and claim a pole position then for the British Grand Prix, but the Ferraris and Red Bulls look pretty damn quick around the Silverstone circuit here. But can we do anything to disrupt the bottom half of the top 10 here as we make our way down the hangar straight and towards Stowe Corner? We have George Russell in our sights here. We are just a little bit under Norris's time there, but let's see if we can make it up in these final couple of corners. Down to 50 gear, clip that apex, get a good run out of here, and now towards the chicane, the Vale chicane here, braking after the 100-meter board, down to 3rd gear, clip that inside corner, up to 4th gear, clip that inside curve as well, get a good run out of there, apply the power as early as you can, take that inside curve, take the shortest run to the line, across the line. Where's this going to put us then for tomorrow's race? And it's going to put us P7, so a good result from us there. That is our highest qualifying by far this season. Remember, in Saudi Arabia, we made Q2, and we only finished P14. But look at this, P7 ahead of Ricciardo, Alonso, and Schumacher, and not that far off, actually, of Lando Norris. So we actually had a pretty clean lap there, and if we had made a couple little tweaks there to go even faster, we could have been in P6. But I won't be too greedy. It was a great qualifying for us, and this is a prime position to get some good points at the British Grand Prix. So can we do that? Well, let's see. Let's go to the grid.
We return once again then to the home of British motorsport and the birthplace of the Formula One World Championship. It's race day here at Silverstone, and it's time for the British Grand Prix. The 3.6-mile-long Silverstone circuit is one of the longest of the season, with 18 corners in the current layout. With average lap speeds reaching around 145 miles per hour, it's also one of the quickest tracks of the year. Watch out for cars taking the right-handers of Abbey and Copse flat out. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position. A very happy Carlos Sainz will start second. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Verstappen, Perez, George Russell, and Norris. Gallagher, Ricciardo, Fernando Alonso and Mick Schumacher. Bottas, Hamilton, Alex Albon and Magnussen. Tsunoda, Ocon, Pierre Gasly and Guan Yu Zhou. Stroll, Vettel, Teo Porcher and Nicholas Latifi. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you here with us today. But I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the run down into turn one, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It will keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
From P7 on the grid here, let's see what we can do in this spectacular British Grand Prix. This is a big chance for us to get some points and closing on the other team, so I'm excited for this opportunity. In terms of strategy, here at the British Grand Prix, one-stop race from the mediums to the hard compounded tires. It is going to be partly sunny for most of the race, but it will get cloudy later on in the race. We'll see how the overcast conditions affect us. No rain obviously expected for the race, unlike Canada, so should be a very straightforward race. But who knows, with the safety cars coming up, maybe we could get some interesting storylines in the British Grand Prix. Anyways, we are continuing on then to the end of the formation lap here, trying to set up and see where we're going to line up on the grid. You're trying to get that, of course, purple parking spot here, trying to weave around, trying to get these tires warmed up, doing a couple burnouts here. This is the first time, again, starting from P7, our highest qualifying so far this season, angling towards the right a little bit there, just so that we can get a decent run there on Lando Norris when the lights go out, and hopefully we can get over there and cover up Daniel Ricciardo, because we want to maintain this position as best as we possibly can. We're waiting for all the people then to come to the grid then, but now here we are then for 5 red lights for the British Grand Prix here in Season 1. It's lights out, and we are green here in Silverstone. It's been a decent start from us though, not the start we really wanted though, but we're in the second phase, we go slightly better. We go a little wider just to give everyone space. Ricciardo dives down our inside, we make a bit of contact there. There's our underbody going away a little bit. We almost went straight into the back then of George Russell there, as he broke a little too late there, trying to sneak up the inside there. But no, we make a bit of contact with him though. I don't think there's any damage though on the front wing. It's a bit of underbody damage there, as Mark clarifies for us there. Meanwhile, behind you got Mick Schumacher and Daniel Ricciardo swapping places there. Actually, Daniel Ricciardo is defending against Mick Schumacher. We're trying to say, hey, we go very deep there. Ricciardo has looked up the inside here. We're going to go side by side into the right-hander here. We get the inside line. Schumacher now sticks his nose up there, and Ricciardo gets shoved out, which allows not only Schumacher but Bottas to follow through as well. So a double overtake then, and a double position loss then for Daniel Ricciardo here. Meanwhile, back to our POV here, as we had not a great run there through Cups corner. For some reason, the AI are so good through the high-speed sections. Again, I got to get used to this car though on head. If you can see, we are struggling already to keep up with Russell. You get a bit on the grass there though. It's not the best run we got them. AI seem to be really good around the back end of Beckett section, especially Cups corner. Now we can run aboard. Then with Valtteri Bottas, who's now head our way them towards Star corner. Bottas on the inside though. He gets squeezed out though by Mick Schumacher there. What about Ricciardo or Alonso? Can they do anything? There's Hamilton there in I think that's 12th place there. So Hamilton's got a bit of work to do here in the British Grand Prix here. Meanwhile, there's some swapping places all over the place here, as Zhou Guanyu and Alex Albon go side by side down the main straight here. Zhou Guanyu gets the move done. There it goes. Yuki Tsunoda on the inside here, but he gets squeezed out. Ocon tries to pick up the pieces there. Ocon cannot do such a thing just yet here. Anyways, and look at our way down. As you can see, Porsche, we cut on a great time there as he dove down the inside of not one, but 2 Aston Martins there. Great move then by our teammate and the Frenchman here. Let's see if he can get a decent run though out of this corner here. Down the the Wellington straight. They go to be a drag race, although Vettel has got the more superior straight line speed. Will Stroll try to make a move here? Nearly makes it 3 wide there. Thinks about it for about half a second there, but decides to think better of it. They are still scrapping away between Porsche and Sebastian Vettel here. Can Porsche squeeze Vettel out? Yes, he can. Just about maintains P19. And meanwhile, back to this top fight here between us. Charles Leclerc still leads the way then from Carlos Sainz. Sergio Perez in 3rd. Max Verstappen 4th. Norris driving a superb race so far in 5th. He got ahead of George Russell off the line. There is us in 7th. Schumacher 8th. Bottas is 9th. Ricciardo, it completes them, the top 10 here. And Schumacher will try to make a move on us as we now make our way towards Stowe Corner again. Meanwhile, behind, you got Hamilton chasing down his old former teammate Fernando Alonso from McLaren. Side by side, they go into Stowe Corner. Hamilton gets the move done. He now moves up then into P11. Good move by the Briton. On lap 3 that we are watching Lewis Hamilton chase after Daniel Ricciardo. Meanwhile, there is us just leading this pack here. We've been soaking up the pressure so far. Schumacher and Bottas have both been relentless as they both try to attack us for P7. Yeah, we maintain the position well, though. We have dropped well behind George Russell, but as long as we stay at P7, we should be fine. Meanwhile, Hamilton, in his world, he is trying to get past the papaya car of Daniel Ricciardo. He's very close to him, and he looks to try to make a move into the Mecca. As Becca's really trying to pull out. No, he will not. He lifts off there just a little bit, just to try and make sure that he doesn't lose the front. Like a smart move then by the British driver. He knows that the Mercedes is a faster car than the McLaren, and he knows that he can attack him soon. Now could be the chance here, but that McLaren is pretty damn fast in a straight line here. Let's see who's going to make a big see up. Me and Schumacher going side by side there for a moment. Schumacher tries to hang it around the outside though, but we squeeze him out there. Meanwhile, behind, you might have seen Ricciardo and Hamilton's dueling here for 10th place here. Hamilton round the outside, turns to the inside for the other part of the chicane. Can they make this move stick here as they come down the main straight here? There is us there going by. Hamilton has made his way up into P10 and of the British Grand Prix. Good move then by the British driver. Once again, as he now tries to chase after us, but I still think they're actually going side by side as Ricciardo stuck his nose up there, and now they're still going side by side into the village section. Here they go. Ricciardo on the inside, turns to the outside for this line. Let's see if we get a good run out of here. Hamilton on the inside has a shorter run here, but they're still going to go side by side. Through the left-hander they go. Ricciardo on the outside gets the move done for now, but Hamilton's got the DRS, I think, on Ricciardo, but now Alonso could be into this as well. It's nearly 3 wide momentarily there. Alonso on the inside makes a bit of contact there with Daniel Ricciardo. Hamilton gets past once again there. Remember, Alonso is on the hard compounded tires as well. So, while it will be good to get some track position now, he needs to remember that he needs to be patient here. Meanwhile, there is us there, making our way through Club's corner. Bottas is very close to Schumacher, but watch us slowly start to come back into the clutches of these guys as we are very weak through this section. I think also it's just because of our front downforce. We're lacking to just the overall downforce and the chassis balance as well. You can see going very wide, they're kicking up a lot of dirt there. Now, they'll both have a great run on us as we now make our way down the hanger straight here. Schumacher pursuing us there. Back to our POV here as we now come into Stowe Corner for the second time in a row. Schumacher tries it around the outside. We squeeze him out though. Bottas gets involved a little bit there. But meanwhile, up ahead, you can see Charles Leclerc and Sergio Perez going side by side for the lead of the British Grand Prix. Yes, this is for the lead of the British Grand Prix. Perez on the inside makes the move stick here. What about Leclerc though? And Leclerc made the move. He dives down the inside. Oh, there goes Verstappen there. Actually, sorry, that's Carlos Sainz. My fault. I thought Charles Leclerc was in that mix. No, he's not. Meanwhile, you got Bottas and Schumacher going side by side there. And there's Magnussen and Alonso going side by side. The two Red Bulls scrapping away. I didn't realize Leclerc, he's 3 seconds away. He's completely run away with us. That's 3 wide between the Red Bulls and the Ferrari there. What a spectacle it is around Silverstone here. And meanwhile, Lando Norris and George Russell are scrapping away as well. And both of these are looking to fight away at these 2 Red Bulls and 2 Ferraris if they can get past them as well. If these 2 manage to hold each other up, they will be in the fight as well. Meanwhile, behind, Zhou Guanyu and Alex Albon still battling it out, and there are a lot of side-by-sides here at the British Grand Prix. Esteban Ocon, he's on the hard compounded tires as well. So both Alpines are trying an interesting strategy as Zhou Guanyu and Fernando Alonso make a bit of contact there as they made their way through Klopp's corner. Meanwhile, back to our POV here.
Appears to be an issue. We're currently investigating. Okay, gap ahead is 4.6 seconds.
Apparently, we have an issue. That really does not bode well. We are 5 laps into the British Grand Prix.
Seems to be an issue with our ERS.
Okay, there's only an issue with our ERS. If it was a terminal issue, I would have cried at that moment. But at least it's only just a ERS issue. Meanwhile, you can see Max Verstappen has gotten ahead then of Charles Leclerc. We weren't able to catch that on camera. I think he might have passed him down the hanger straight though. Meanwhile, George Russell and Lando Norris are still going at each other. Actually, sorry, George Russell is now, yeah, he's still behind Sergio Perez, but Lando Norris has actually gotten ahead then of Sergio Perez. So great move then by the Briton here as he tries to make his way up. And he could be potentially looking at a podium here for McLaren if the race turns out in his favor. Meanwhile, Valtteri Bottas is still trying to pursue us, as well as Schumacher, who's leading the train with Lewis Hamilton and Daniel Ricciardo right behind them as well. We are still holding up this train pretty well And so far, we have not made any mistakes here. As we see there, us and Bottas going side by side into left field there. He makes a bit of contact with us, and luckily he managed to get away with that somewhat safely there. Meanwhile, Yuki Tsunoda and Fernando Alonso are still going at each other here. Again, both Alpines are on the hard compounded tires, so I think they're trying the opposite strategy that we are doing, which was the mediums to the hards. I think they're trying to do the hards to the mediums, which could potentially work in their favor, as Hamilton thought about a move there on Mick Schumacher. Now instead, Danny Ricciardo's going to get in the mix here as well, and then go side by side through Maggins and Beckers. And a beautiful move then by the Australian. Can he complete this move here as they come out of Beckett's here? Bit of dirt kicked up from us there. What a beautiful move and an opportunistic one as well, as he got ahead. And meanwhile, there's Bottas getting his way. Can he make a move around the outside here? Can we just squeeze him out as well? We just about hold him off there for now. And there's Schumacher watching this battle from the cockpit here. He will try to get ahead of us as quickly as he can. Meanwhile, Hamilton is still pressuring Danny Ricciardo for that final point spot. Meanwhile, Bottas is trying to make a move on us. We're going to go side by side into Abbey here. We take the inside leg, squeeze him out. That will set us up then well for Village here. As now Bottas is under pressure now from Mick Schumacher, who dives down the inside there into the corner. Schumacher tries to make the move stick, but he can't make the move stick just yet. Meanwhile, Bottas is trying to again recompose himself, and there's Ricciardo here in the background, and Hamilton as well. We are in a 5-way train here for 7th place here, and more if we continue to scrap as well. You can see just the entire DRS train here forming up here. As we now make our way then onto lap 8 here. Bottas still trying to make a move there. Bit of contact there. We cut on just in time there as we go side by side into stow them. Later on the brakes and we try to squeeze him out. We do manage to squeeze him out. Goes a little bit off track though, but we manage to keep the position just for now. Into the chicane we go then for the 8th time of Austin. We are still up here in P7. Russell is in 8 seconds ahead of us there. Pretty dang impressive there from the Mercedes. That is the gap. We are then from the top of the midfield here. We obviously want to get as high as we can here. Bottas trying to pressure us. He does not get the greatest run though, and he will fall foul of Mick Schumacher here. And now make our way then into Village then. And for the 9th time here, they go side by side there. You can see the shuffling of orders up in the top left of your screen. But I think Bottas has just managed to stay ahead of him. And otherwise, meanwhile, back to the TV POVs here as we look back on Fernando Alonso and Yuki Tsunoda going side by side. They're going to go side by side into Abbey. Will Ocon make a 3-wide. He thinks about it there, but he manages to stay behind Porsche. He's watching this battle as well. So Porsche could get interested here if they start to squabble too much here. Meanwhile, again, this was the battle we were looking at between Bottas, Schumacher, and they go 3 wide there. The Frenchman, the Spaniard, and the other Frenchman.
Okay, stand by. We see a problem our end and we're looking into it.
Oh, come on, not another issue here as we now see Bottas and Ricciardo go side by side through left field. Here we got an issue though with our engine there. Let's hope that the issue is not going to be terminal for us as we are running a P7. This is going to be a crucial time for us to get some points here. Meanwhile, Bottas and Ricciardo are still going side by side as they make the way. Then there is us. Can they make the way onto Cops Corner then? No collisions there. Bottas maintains his P8. What about us though as we make our way through Maggins and Beckett's?
Okay, looks like a mechanical failure. We're going to have to ask you to find a safe spot to retire. Sorry about that, mate.
No, we have an engine failure. Meanwhile, we can see the final bit of the replay there. You can see our engine going up in smokes there. Ricciardo, Bottas going side by side. Hamilton and Schumacher going side by side. Our engine has gone up in smokes. We are retiring them from this race. Meanwhile, Magnussen is trying to make up some places as well. Here goes Mick Schumacher. Can he make his way down the inside of the British driver? No, he cannot. Actually, yes, he can. He makes the mistake, but I think he gets squeezed out there. But meanwhile, for us, we have pulled over them to the right-hand side of the track. And we are out. The British Grand Prix. From P7 on the grid. We were doing so well. We were looking potentially to get some points here. We held off Bottas and Schumacher so well. But it was just not meant to be for us then, I guess. Disappointing from us.
Well, they've done a brilliant job, I must say, under some intense pressure to take a well-earned victory here at the British Grand Prix. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
And here we are, a team that is no stranger to the podium, taking their place on top once again. A sublime race today and a stunning win for Ferrari.
Formula 1 is a harsh sport in many, many ways, and this is just one of the ways. We are in P7 then. We could have had 6 points to our name there. but it was just not meant to be. Anyways, congratulations to Charles Leclerc for winning the British Grand Prix. Another fantastic race there for Ferrari. And Charles Leclerc, he dominated the race there. Remember, Verstappen, Sainz, and Perez were all squabbling for second place then. But it's a shame we could not be up there. We could have really had some good points then on the table here. But it was, again, just not meant to be. Curious how McLaren, Alpine, Alpha, Haas, and AlphaTauri did here. We need to maintain that P8 we have in the constructors.
So let's have a look then at the driver's
out
stand.
on some crucial millions and millions of dollars
championship standings.
Teo Pacher only finished P19 then, could not make up any more points. Although it wasn't that far then from P10.
It's got to be Lewis Hamilton. I mean, he pulled off some impressive feats out on the track today, even by his standards.
We just about stay ahead of AlphaTauri. We need to pick up the pace here. And hopefully next time around we won't have an engine failure. And Austria's the next round. So we should have some good pace around there. I'm really excited for that. But no engine failures, please. But anyways, that is it then for the British Grand Prix episode. Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, definitely be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you guys then in the next episode for Austria. Disappointing here, but let's turn around in Austria with some good points.